Hello everyone, I am Saker, aka Gothic Catgirl Witch, and you're probably wondering what I'm doing in space right now. So, apparently, Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament are legally free. And what I mean by this is, apparently, Epic decided, and after keeping the games delisted for about a year or two, they decided to let the good folks over at the Unreal community, old Unreal website, just want to make sure I got that right, old Unreal website that does the patches for Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament, to host downloads for both those games as well as their patches. So what this means to me is, at least Epic is still allowing people to play these games. I knew delisting them was kind of going to happen regardless, but it's like a lot of people kind of went doom and gloom on whether or not you'd be able to play these games again, and it's like, if they're delisted, they're essentially abandonware at that point. So I made a tweet saying, well, both on Twitter and Blue Sky, that's saying Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament not 2004, Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament going free legally by Epic was not on my 2024 bingo card, but here we go. So I'm actually kind of glad this ended up being the case. The reason why I say that is because both games are mostly playable on modern systems anyway, so it's like, it's not hard to get them to run. I personally own these games on disc, so I've had these games installed for years. So I still have all my mods from over the years. So now my question is, what's going to happen to Unreal 2, Unreal Tournament 2004, and Unreal Tournament 3? Honestly, it's probably going to be the same thing. And I know this is for a different topic, but I know Nightdive was wanting to do like a remaster of Unreal Gold, which I get it. It would actually do well. Nightdive's great, by the way. They do really good remasters. If you're ever into the retro shooter area, they have some really good remasters, and their remake of System Shock 1 is good. Now, back on topic. So, reason why I brought up Nightdive is they were wanting to remaster Unreal Gold, which I mentioned, but Epic did not want that to happen. So, I think, and this is more of a theory, I think one of the major reasons why Epic didn't really let Nightdive remaster it is because I think Epic just wanted to just like either shelve the games or just let the community have them. And I think letting the community have them instead was the better option. Now, I will say this. If Nightdive were to ever like make a whole ass remaster of these games, it would of course sell well. But it's obvious where Epic is nowadays as opposed to how it was back then. All they care about is Fortnite. That's all you're going to get from Epic from now on. It sucks, but that's just how it is. And their stupid launcher, which I am not going to get into. So, now, what got us to this to begin with, and why the state of the Unreal series is basically like this. So, Unreal has been around for about 25, I want to say 25 plus years, and I can't remember the exact like year, because it's like I was I was still a baby when the game came out, so. But that's how old it was. So, what got it to here is Unreal Tournament, not just Unreal Tournament, Unreal in general has always been more of a showcase for the Unreal Engine, even back then. But the games were still good, obviously. We wouldn't have Unreal Engine if it wasn't for Unreal and Unreal Tournament. That's just how it is. But what got us to here was in, I can't remember the year. It's can't think of it on the top of my head. But back in the day, Unreal Tournament was basically a great competitor to Quake 3. Essentially. And honestly, between Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament was the better game. It's still a better game. Don't get me wrong, and I know there's Quake 3 people out there. I'm still a Quake 3 player, don't worry. But I think I've always felt like Unreal Tournament was the better game. Now, my opinions on Unreal Tournament versus Quake 3 and all that, topic for another video. Right now. I need to start getting off topic. So, anyways. So, what led to Epic basically letting everyone have these games for free? Well, the simple answer is Fortnite. That's basically it. Originally, at least to my knowledge, there was supposed to be a version of Unreal Tournament 3 that was supposed to be re-released called Unreal Tournament 3X, I believe. That got shelved immediately, which, thank God, because I love UT3, but it was never the best one. So, now, when it comes to what made, okay, excuse me. I should have warned this video is completely not scripted. So, I know, because I'm making this before I have to go on vacation. So, anyways, so the whole point of why Epic kind of was iffy on what they want to do with the series is it doesn't make them a lot of money. Simple. That's just how business is, unfortunately. So, and they were still making like a decent amount from the Unreal games because a lot of people downloaded them through GOG and Steam and all that, which is fine, but it's like and they're great ways to get the game. Well, used to be great ways to get in the games. That's like, these games are like 20 plus years old. And I mean, all of them except for UT3, obviously. And Unreal Championship 2, but that's console. That's another time. Anyways. Unreal and Unreal Tournament. Excuse me. Train of thought. I hate this. So. Okay, back to us. So, what made Epic, well, I already mentioned it, Fortnite, basically. And, of course, when I found out the servers were getting delisted, or not, offline, and as well as, the games getting delisted, I was like, hold up, why are these games getting delisted? They're playable offline. And yes, that's still true. So, the servers I get, servers cost money to even run. I run an Unreal Tournament 2004 server still for my community. So, I get it. Servers do cost money. Now, the official Epic servers for all the Unreal games, they've been shut down a long time ago, which, that's fine. Old Unreal, if you decide to get the Unreal Tournament and Unreal Gold, and you get the old Unreal patches, they usually include a custom server browser now, which perfect if you want to play some classic UT99 online or Unreal, or do some co-op with Unreal Gold, whatever you want to do. That's yes. As far as like the fate of Unreal Tournament 2004 goes, that's unknown because back then, at least the disc copies, which I do own on disc, has a CD key thing, which needs it just to even run the game. Now, GOG thankfully kind of just has it bypassed. So if you own it on GOG, you don't have to worry about it. Steam, I have no idea how the Steam version works. I've always played it on disc. And UT3, well, that's just UT3. It's just its own thing. But let's rewind back a little bit to I want to say 2012, 2013. I'm trying to remember. I was in high school when this was going on, but so before Fortnite was becoming a thing, Epic was going to actually release a new Unreal Tournament game, which they technically did, but it was in pre-alpha stage, and let's just say it wasn't going to go anywhere. I hate to be that person, but it was not going to go anywhere. And this is coming from someone who grew up with the series, still enjoy the series to this day. It was back then. It wasn't going to go anywhere. Arena shooters were basically dead. If you have your group of friends, of course, that's a different story. But yeah. Now, it was what Unreal Tournament. I'm just gonna call it UT4 because that's what it is in my heart. I know it's technically just supposed to be like a reinvention of Unreal Tournament, which fine. It was fun for a while, but it was like you can kind of tell Epic did not want to work on it at all. And it's like, I get it. Before then, the last game they released was Gears of War Judgment, I believe. So it was like going back to Unreal, even after Cliffy B left Epic, it was like they didn't know what to do with the series, so it was like, okay, let's try to build it with the community, see what we can come up with, which for a good while it did work. And I was super excited for it because I was like, I didn't expect a new Unreal Tournament game. But the problem is, this was 2020, or not 2020, this was 2014. Unreal Tournament was barely a thing. The last Unreal Tournament game that even came out was in 2007. So think about how long of a gap that was. And that whole story of what was going on after UT3 is for another time. I know I keep saying this when I bring stuff up, but it's like, the whole point of this video is to talk about Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament and why they went free. So it's kind of like, I'm mostly kind of giving you guys a little history of kind of where we got to now. So after UT3, Epic was obviously mostly focused with the Gears of War games, which, hey, that's how they were able to make their money with that. And they're great games. I love the Gears of War games. Still need to finish I still need to finish the series though, but they're still good games. So when I'm trying to remember, God. So when brain fart, I'm sorry. I need to yeah, some of this is getting edited out, I'm sorry. Okay, back to what I was saying. So Unreal Tournament, where it was at right now, was just basically, unless you were unless you had a group of buddies, that's literally it. But again, that's one advantage to having a dedicated server thing as opposed to what most games have nowadays, which is just matchmaking. I'm not a fan of matchmaking, never have been. I like to have fun when it comes to my multiplayer games. So I would, if I were to like play anything nowadays and it has matchmaking, I'm kind of like, am I gonna be bad at the game, or is it gonna be cheaters, or is it gonna be whatever? At least with dedicated servers, you can kind of just ban the cheater yourself. So it has its plus sides and its downsides. So I get that. Now, okay, back to the history. Okay, so 2014, Epic was wanting to make a new Unreal Tournament game. Great. 2015, the pre-alpha got released. Fun. Funny enough, in fact, I'm gonna just blue flag. You are gonna go back down here. Thank you. Sorry about that. So back in 2015, the pre-alpha, I believe, released. Let me fix you first. Okay. All right. 2015, pre-alpha released. It did get some hype because it's Unreal Tournament is like that was like everyone's favorite game for a good while back in '99. Well, one of their favorites. Unreal Tournament, the pre-alpha, that got released to basically kind of a lukewarm reception, and it was fun. I when I first tried it out, I liked it. I think, and I feel like it had something. The problem though is, and this is where I get a little pissy about this, because it almost killed off another series I love, which I will mention it later on. But 2016 rolled around, we got Doom Eternal, Overwatch. Yeah, I don't like Overwatch. I'm sorry. I tried it. It was not for me. It's literally arena shooter for babies. If you want to quote on me on that all you want, I don't care. I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking my guns with that opinion. That's with Overwatch. Fun game with a group of friends, but not for me. So back to what I was saying. So 2016 would kind of rolled around. Overwatch was obviously the biggest online multiplayer game of all time, which, no surprise. I mean, Blizzard makes good games. Well, at the time. And yes, I've actually used to play decent on Overwatch. It's not for me. Overwatch, that's another. Jeez, I'm literally bringing up topics and they're like for future videos I could make, but whatever. So, yeah, Overwatch was like the big thing. Yada yada yada. Great. It got big, obviously, in it, and I am still 100% salty on this, but it really snubbed Doom 2016 from the Game Awards. I'm sorry, but Doom 2016 was a much better game. Its multiplayer was hit or miss, but... Now, why did I mention these two games, you may ask? Because one of them, at least in the multiplayer department, was a full-on arena shooter still. And here's how that went. Before Doom 2016 got released, there was a beta, the multiplayer that came out, that it did not do well at all. A lot of people were having issues. Literally, the game was unplayable for me, but again, I was also playing on a 750 Ti, which was not high-end. But this was 2016, so yeah, Doom 2016 came out. the single player obviously did well. The multiplayer was just okay. A lot of people thought it was going to be like Halo 4, or I'd say Halo 4 because of the loadout system, but it's like it was basically Halo mixed in with Quake. That's all it was, which it's fine. It was fun for a while, but it was like, I'd rather go back to Quake 3 or Unreal or whatever. So that was the state of the arena shooter genre. Like, people were mostly playing stuff like Battlefield 1 was a good one. That one was like one of the better online shooters at the time. There was also, what else? CSGO was getting actually decently big at the time, so the casual audience didn't want a fast-paced shooter. They wanted something slow, which perfectly fine. I get it. So here comes Unreal Tournament. It's there. It exists. That's literally all it kind of boiled down to. Now, Epic was still actively working with the community to actually get it to be a full game. But around, I think 2017, I don't remember the year. I was talking to someone who used to work there in the past. Basically, Fortnite was kind of, they were also developing Fortnite, the original version of Fortnite. They wanted to make a battle royale because PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds was popular, and Epic wanted to make their own version of that, basically. Which, hey, go get the money. So, essentially, anyone that was working on Unreal Tournament got moved to Fortnite just to get the battle royale working. And then as soon as that started getting working, as soon as that got big, it was basically the end of Unreal Tournament in general. That was where it was going to go down even more, which I get it. It was 2017. Fortnite got big. You know, I'm not going to get into the history of Fortnite because I'm not a Fortnite channel. So, anyways, yeah, Fortnite got big. Unreal Tournament basically disappeared. Unreal was just more of an engine than a game now, and it's kind of still like that nowadays. So it was only a matter of time before Epic basically did what they did and delist the games and so on and so forth. So 2013, the beginning of 2013, not 13, excuse me, 2023, beginning of that, Epic made an announcement saying several game servers are going offline and some games are getting delisted. Want to know what series that was? That was also part of that list. If you guess Unreal, you'd be correct. So, and this is where I got a bit pissy about it, because it was like, why the fuck are you delisting games that are playable offline? And then it clicked. Epic really wanted to make sure they keep their image clean when it comes to Fortnite, because, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love this series, it was way too mature. Which, I mean, it was late 90s, early 2000s. What do you expect? But Epic really would rather just focus more on Fortnite, because it was its cash cow, which I was pissed off about it, because I was like, what the fuck? So essentially what you did was you made it abandonware. Now nobody can easily get the games now. And so it clicked with me. It took me a while, but it clicked with me finally. I was like, okay, so Epic just wants nothing to do with Unreal anymore except for the engine, which that's perfectly fine. I get it. That's also another one of their moneymakers. But here's the issue. Delisting the games is where things got a bit off. And this is where I got very pissed off about it, and I had a bunch of Twitter rants at the time because what the fuck? But essentially, basically, they thought delisting the games would save them some money, or I don't know what was going on with Epic at the time and behind the scenes. This is all speculation. I just think they need to do something because the servers were already costing them some money, so they shut down the servers and, you know, that whole shit. Okay. So, now, the good news is, well, I don't know if it was good news or not because, you know, back then. So, the good news is, if you own the game still, you were still able to play them perfectly fine. Doesn't matter whether it's GOG, Steam, or if you're like me, the disc copy, because, yeah. Yeah. So, the server shutting down didn't really bother me that much because I know the Unreal community well enough to know the community would easily just bring the servers back up through their own thing, which they did for all of them, thankfully. Except, I don't know if 2003 has any servers or not, but even then, just go play 2004 if you want to do that. So, essentially, this was how I felt, and was how I was seeing it after getting pissed off, and to where I was like, first I was like, fuck you, Epic, and then later on I was like, okay, now I see what they're trying to do. They want to give the Unreal games basically just back to the community to let them do whatever they want with it, with the series, and that's it. So, a year later, obviously, well, Gary, it would almost be 2 years later, we go to, I think, basically today. Well, I say today as of this recording. Someone announced from the old Unreal, and from the old Unreal website said, Epic has given them permission to host links to download Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament. And I'm like, that's interesting. Because before then, Night Dive was just trying to get a remaster going, which obviously no need to now unless you want to port it to consoles, which these games are not console friendly. I'm sorry. But, yeah. Essentially, basically, now, we get to basically now, Unreal Gold, Unreal Tournament are free to get, regardless. They're abandonware, they're run by the community now, and now you're able to get them with no hassle. And that, I gotta give Epic for being a good sportsmanship, because they could easily just be like, fuck you guys. We'll pull Nintendo and just say, fuck you guys, you're not allowed to download these games. Unless you own them, of course. And thankfully, I'll give Epic this. That was the best way they could have handled it. Now, the future of the Unreal series, it's obvious as to where it's going to go now. Community basically has the entire series, so they can do whatever they want with it. Servers are active. All the games are still playable. You know, the usual. Now, the ones that did get approved are Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament, which makes sense. Those are the easiest to actually get working, because there's no CE, there's no DRM bullshit. You can just, it's literally just install and play, which I miss when games were like that. 2003, 2004, and 3 are gonna be an interesting case, because especially 2004 and 3. 2003, I am not too worried about, because all of the content for 2003 is on 2004. So, if you own 2004, you're not missing anything. Maybe some story bits, but nothing like major. Okay. So. Now, this is where it's going to get tricky because the entire series is basically on Archive, or the Internet Archive. Epic is basically just saying, hey, we don't care, you guys do whatever you want with it. You know, that whole 9 yards. Oh, God, how long did I record? Jesus Christ, this is a long ass video. Yeah. I do too much talking. I need to stop. Anyways, if you want Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament, at least what's available, I will link them in the description from the old Unreal pages. That's it for me. So I know I was gonna get into more detail, but I'm already at 30 minutes. This was supposed to be just a quick video, and I got sidetracked completely. So I will do better. This was unscripted. I will do better. Anyways, that's it for me. And if you want to try them out, please do. Go online. Be careful on the community servers, though. Especially if you have children, because, oh yeah, the Unreal Tournament community has gotten horny before. Yes. I know, I'm one to talk, but still. Anyways, that's it for me. This is your Gothic Technical Witch signing out. Have a good one, everyone. Stay safe, and keep fragging.